day, friends. You are welcome once again to another episode of Leadership Go with the Brainy leadership team, where we discuss leadership that has to do with skills, leadership that has to do with integrity, leadership that has to do with change. At the end of the day, what are we looking for? We are looking now that each and every leader, wherever they find themselves, is going to do the needful in order to ensure successful leadership. As far as we've gone, we understand that everything rises and falls on leadership. So the state of every organization, every country, every economy, everything depends on the state of the leader. And we mentioned in our last episode, one of our episodes on growth, that the level of effectiveness of the leader tells the level of effectiveness of the organization or the people. So it's important we discuss these things. Now, today we want to look at something I've called get started. Get started as a leader. Get started. John C. Maxwell said that if you are waiting to get everything before you start, then you will not start. It's a natural principle. You don't expect to get everything before you start. Look at a farmer going to the farm, going to sow a seed. All he knows or she knows is perhaps I'm putting a seed to the ground and we are in the rainy season, or maybe at this particular time I need sunshine or I need this, and it's going to support my growth. So the first thing he does is just get the seeds and then put it in the soil. And how it's going to rain or shine, it has little to do about him, right? So he has to take a step to ensure that whatever he wants to get at the end of the day, he's getting. So you have to get started. It really doesn't matter. You can't get everything before you start. That's the point that we are driving home. That you can't get everything before you start. So you just have to take the first step. And one thing I've come to realize is that as you take the step, you get to see the picture clearer. Sometimes you might make a mistake, sometimes you might fail at something, but then it gives you a standing block or a stone on which you are going to stand to take better decisions. Now, the question is, if you hadn't taken the decision, it means that it wouldn't have happened. Steve Harvey, one of America's interviewers who does a lot of interviews and motivational speaking and all that thing, made a statement I also agree with. He says the issue is that if you decide not to move, the chances are that you are not going to see anything happen to you. Why don't you rather move and then fail and know that I moved? That's a better option than to sit and say, I'm not moving, with a lot of excuses, maybe fear or something. No. Get started. So the idea that has dropped in your head as a leader, that thing that has clicked in your mind, that thing that God has deposited in your spirit to lead your organization to do, to lead your country to do, to lead the people you are with to do, take the first action. And then in the course of doing these things are going to appear clearer to you. And before we look at some things we have to consider, let's just consider somebody just like climbing a mountain. Sorry, I don't know how many of us have gone to a mountain to climb before, but then just like climbing a mountain, sometimes you haven't seen the peak of the mountain. You haven't seen it yet, but then you just determine in yourself that I'm going to climb as far as you can go, or no matter what it takes, the length of time or whatever it takes, you are going to climb until you get there. And as you climb, you realize you are approaching the peak. You climb and climb, but the question is, had you not started, you wouldn't have gotten to the peak of the mountain. And that's how it works in leadership. Just get started. Now let's look at three things that are important, I think, that will help us know when and how to start. The first thing is to discover the resources available to you. That's it. You are not empty, you are not handicapped. That's the first thing you have to understand. In as much as we are saying that you don't have to get everything before you start, also understand that there is no way you are an empty human being. There is something in you. So that skill in you, that potential in you, maybe you have the gift of singing. you have the gift of playing an instrument, doing something, communication. All those kind of things are resources available to you, not only money. If you want to start a business, maybe you might have something small. Now, these are the resources available to you. Make use of these little resources you have to you. Or if you are able to manage these little things, then you are going to end up having more at the end of the day. So it's important we understand that the little resources we have is a good tool for us to get started. The second thing is to put down clear, achievable, sensible, passion-driven plan. Right? So these are the resources I have available to me, and these are the things that are going to help me in my leadership skill. You don't expect to set goals higher, above what you can do. No. Just set a plan that is going to help you get started with the resources you have available to you. It's just like somebody who doesn't even know how to drive a car says that I want to get or the money you have even doesn't buy a bicycle, but you still want to sit in and buy a jet or something like that. It's possible, but then it's not something that is achievable. It's not easily achievable. So you would have to pay attention to your plans. It should be achievable, quite sensible enough, passion driven with the little you have. And then the last thing we talk about is get started. Once you have the resources, you're able to acknowledge that these are the things I have at my disposal. You are able to put down clear strategic plans, achievable ones, passion-driven ones. Get started. As you are going, enjoy the road. Love what you do. You make mistakes, you fail, just put things right. And then you are going to get to the level that you aspire to be if you put down all these things. But until you get started, until you try to do something, it's impossible for you to get to the top. You go to one before you go to two. Just keep that in mind. And once you are faithful with the little thing you are doing, God says that He's going to give you a lot to handle. Thank you for joining us today, also on Leadership Go. I'm Michael Brainy. Don't forget to leave your comments. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to share and subscribe as well. Yes, our leadership training program is getting nearer and nearer and nearer. We are a week away from our upcoming leadership training program. It's taking place on the 2nd of July at 10 a.m. and at the Grace Life Leadership Center. We are going to talk about leadership. We are going to study issues. We are going to talk about other skills, branding, and a whole lot. You don't want to miss it. Come and let's put ourselves in the position to be the change we want to see. Thank you. I'll see you in our next episode.